Hello friends, how are you doing? Day 1493. Hope you're doing amazing on this Thursday night. I just want to come in and just share with you some notes I made on an audio I listened to. It was an audio entitled Increasing Morale, and it was actually done by John C. Maxwell. And so on the audio, he actually shared 7 E's to help you increase morale, whether it be on a team, an organization, a group of some sort, sports, it really doesn't matter. A group of people, if you want to increase morale. The first E is example. He basically said morale is a measure of how much faith people have in the leader. And so you have to lead by example. And that's one of the things that I try to do when I'm trying to create some change. I try my best not to tell people what to do or think or what have you. I just try to lead by example. Not always the easiest, obviously. That's probably the hardest thing in my experience to do. Knowing what to do and actually doing it is completely two different things. And I think for a lot of people know what they should do or possibly could do, but actually living it is a different story. Okay, second E is enthusiasm. You need to inject energy into your people. And so how do you do that? Very simple, he said, wake up the leader. Because once the leader wakes up, he will wake up the people. And so you have to be enthusiastic, right? Because if you're not enthusiastic, why would your people be? Okay, they're looking at you to be the example, right? So third E is expectations, okay, of a number of things. Number one, of the people and what the people can expect from the leader, okay? And so you need to make sure that people can see the expectations. So that means that you have to set expectations that are realistic, okay? But they can't be too low either, because then it doesn't really challenge your people to actually make them be better. High expectations actually give hope and possibilities for people, but obviously it can't be too high. People need to believe that you actually believe in the expectations, even if they don't believe the expectations themselves. So if they believe that they can actually do it, then they will actually have a lot more hope and faith, okay? Fourth E is experiences. Wow. As the leader, you need to create experiences, learning experiences for people to actually grow from. Okay? So because he talks about how do you develop leaders? You can only develop leaders through practice. If people are not getting the reps, they won't be able to actually develop their leadership properly. Okay? And what happens here, he says, is that thinking actually takes away from building morale. And so sometimes people are so in their heads, they're analyzing, but they're not doing. So you have to take action to build morale, okay? Because the more action someone takes, the more reps they do, the better they'll be, the more confidence they'll have, and it takes them away from their brain, their minds, okay? Because our minds are great at telling you why you suck and why you are not good enough, okay? So you got to get into action. When you're into action, you're no longer thinking about it, okay? Number 5, fifth E is equipment. You got to equip people with the tools that they need. Okay, and then he talks about teaching people values, okay, and that's the content. And to teach people in small groups. That way you can actually give more individual attention to each person. Because if you teach in a massive group, you may get the content out there, but not everyone learns the same way. Not everyone learns at the same speed either, okay? So context matters as well. Sixth E is evaluation, okay? You got to put awareness and accountability in people's minds. You got to let people know that, hey, you know what, we're going to follow up, we're going to talk about this, so that they are accountable to somebody. I know that I'm much more effective when I'm accountable to somebody. Because it's too easy for me to say, oh, it's okay, I'll do it better next time, or I'll do it tomorrow. And for the longest time, that was an excuse that I made up and I accepted, which held me back. That's why it's so important to surround yourself with the right people. Okay? More importantly, a coach or a mentor or somebody that's further ahead of you in the journey. Okay? And you have to, as a leader, you have to allow people to see things from a different perspective. Okay? And that's why being the leader, you have to give them that perspective. And you also have to give them a goal to shoot for. Okay? Otherwise, what are you evaluating? Right? You may evaluate the process, but at the end of the day, you need to have goals because you need to be able to measure it. Okay? And finally, the seventh E is execution. This is when you have to measure outcomes, not output. Okay? And he goes on to say high morale is a result of winning consistently, not just from working harder. Because you can work your butt off for a long time, but if you're not getting the results, that's a great way to kill morale. Because people are like, why are we working so hard if we're not getting the results? We're not seeing any making a difference, right? And that is true for anything in your life. Whether it be team sports, whether it be in business, whether it be in a relationship, right? If you're putting in all the work in a relationship and the other person doesn't show up for you, even though you do this for a long time, and when I say long, like 6 months, a year, or so forth, or whatever, how long it takes, right? It's all about mindset, right? Then the morale decreases, right? So, well, why am I doing this? Like, am I the only person in this partnership? Again, it could be not just relationships, but business as well, right? Or a team. And so, the 7 E's for increasing morale. Number 1, be the example. Number 2, inject enthusiasm. Number 3, set expectations. Number 4, create learning experiences for people to grow from. Number 5, equip people with the right tools that they need. Teach them values and teach them in small groups. Number 6, evaluation. You have to create accountability and allow people to see things from a different perspective. And number 7 is execution. You need to measure the outcomes, not just the output, okay? Because again, high morale is a result of winning consistently. It's not just from working harder, okay? Anyways, if you're a part of a team, hopefully some of those points help you. I know for myself, with the different teams that I'm a part of, I always try to utilize these 7 E's. I may not think of the 7 E's specifically, but now that I'm reading them, I'm like, oh yeah, I try to do that and that and that and that. I always try to be an example. I try to inject enthusiasm. I try to let people know what I expect and I'm wanting from people. And then, I allow them to actually make mistakes. I tell them they're going to make mistakes, and it's okay. But use it to learn, okay? And then I try to equip people with different tools. And then I let them know how they're doing. I try to give feedback. And then, of course, I try to set people up to win. And so I'll put them in the winning environment and, winning situation. And when they win, we high five, increase morale, and creates a positive experience for people. So obviously lots of things for me to still learn, but hopefully that helps you. Okay, my friends, I love you all. I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.